Y'all bow your heads in prayer, please. Loving God, bless all those gathered here today as we come together in friendship and fellowship. Thank you for your constant abiding love. Thank you for the blessings of our individual and collective God-given gifts. Place in our hearts the desire to make a difference to our family, to our community, and to our country, and to the many cultures and people worldwide. Give us balance and discernment in these times of distraction and uncertainty. Help us move towards our goals with determination and always with an abundant sense of humor. Thank you for food in a world where many know only hunger. Thank you for our faith in a world where many know only fear. Thank you for friends in a world where many know only loneliness. Thank you for hope in a world where many face war, violence, and destruction. Thank you for compassion and selflessness in a world where many are only focused on self. Please bless this food we are about to share, those that prepared it, those that serve it, and those who have worked to make today's Rotary meeting special. For all this, we give you thanks in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Becky. And now to introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests, Kay Shaw.
Thank you. We have one visiting Rotarian, Jim Hudson, is here from Columbia East. So Jim, welcome. And we have a number of Rotarians with guests, so I'd ask you to stand and introduce your guests as the microphone comes around.
My name is Glenn Matthews, and with me today I have Trey Bain from Analytics 8, and they're a data consulting firm. So Trey Bain from Analytics 8.
I'm Michael Kahn, and I have with me today Dean Floyd. Dean is a real estate agent and also has his own landscape business as well. Dean Floyd.
Good morning, good afternoon. Craig Witherspoon, I'll be speaking, but I do have some guests here. Our chairman of the Board of Commissioners was Jamie Devine, who's been here before. We have also on the Board of Commissioners Ms. Yolanda Anderson. And on staff, we have our Chief of Staff, Dr. Sherry Veazey. We have our Chief of Human Resource Services, Dr. Jeff Long. And we have out of our communications shop, Ms. Karen York, who is our Executive Director of Communications, and Ms. Kiosha Boyles, who is our Coordinator of Marketing.
Hello everybody, my name is Rita Patel, I'm owner of Hotel Trumbull, and this is my husband Marcus. He's been here before. We own a hotel together, so he's my guest today.
Okay, I have my daughter Gracie here again with me today.
Thank you and welcome to all.
Thank you, Greg. And now health and happiness, Jimmy Derrick. Where's Jimmy? Here, oh, okay. Just want to be sure.
Somebody lose some glasses. They found these glasses last week. I want to check, see. They don't look like anything special. Made in China. Made in China. But I'm getting virus and hold on those. Okay, first of all, I want to talk just a minute about one of our guests, and that would be Jim Hudson. He's been in Rotary for 40 years. Y'all probably think he's that old. He has, this is part that I found remarkable, he has 100% attendance in those 40 years. He's a Paul Harris 3 times and a benefactor. I didn't even know what a benefactor was, but I think it means he is given a lot of money. And he's a major sponsor for the events for over 25 years, and so I just think it's real special that his son would be coming in Rotary today, and Jim has certainly set a great example for what Rotary is all about. So, Jim Hudson, thank you very much for all you do. I was asked to talk about, somebody apparently asked the question about if you put a check or money in the cart bucket, how do you take that off on your income taxes? I can't imagine why anybody would ask that question, because I take off a bunch on my taxes. I will operate on the theory, catch me if you can. Anyway, if you make the check out, to the cart fund, and I have an ad, if you wanted to just mail the check to the cart fund, I also have an address at P.O. Box 1916, Sumter, South Carolina, 29151. And I don't know who asked that question, but I noticed that they must not be here because I saw nobody get their pen out and write the address down. Also, today is the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, of the Holocaust, so that's a kind of a big thing. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about, I used to own a big, huge real estate company and had some 600 real estate associates, and I used to have a sales meeting once a week. So I've gone back to one of my old sales meetings, which won't take long, but there's 7 rules to become a winner. Number 1 is to work hard, enjoy your work, over the hill gang, no off season. This was from George Allen, who used to be the football coach of the Washington Redskins. He said you had to have a good attitude. One person can pull down the whole organization. The tougher the job, the greater the reward. Stick together. Getting the guy who was just benched to pull for the guy taking his place. Help your buddy. Be positive. The temptation is to think of negative things. Do something to improve every day. If you don't, someone will get ahead of you or you're going to slide. No one can beat you unless you beat yourself. The other guy won't work that hard. He won't be in shape. And the last one was, how badly do you want it? And that is the extra mile. You need to go the extra mile. How bad do you want it? What is winning? To the child recovering from muscular dystrophy, it is learning to walk. To the corporate vice president, it is becoming president. To the entertainer, it is applause. To the old man, it is respect. To the teacher, it is learning. To the farmer, it is his harvest. To the mother, it's giving birth to a new life. To the athlete, it is everything. His presidency, his applause, his respect, his learning, his new life, and his harvest. His beginning and his end. Those who profess to play the game without winning or caring to win are only actors on an empty stage, unseen, unlistened to, unfeeling, and unrewarded, be it either applause or self-respect. They are entertainers who never entertain. The doctor who never heals, the teacher who never teaches, the child that never lives. Winning is the entire reason to exist in the profession you have chosen. Winning is a talent that must be worked for, practiced, and achieved. Once achieved, it must be maintained, developed, and protected to the highest degree. You know, yesterday at our church, which I go to St. Andrew's Baptist Church, our minister got up there in the beginning of the sermon and said, he said, I think we just need to pray for our country. We just need to have some silent prayer for our country. Such turmoil we think we've never seen when everything is going wonderful. The economy is good. Everything is working like it's supposed to be. I'm not a politician. All I'm telling you, I don't care who you vote for. I'm just saying things are pretty damn good out there right now, okay? So I came up with this, I do not choose to be a common person. It is my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humble and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to barter incentive for a dole. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for beneficence nor my dignity for a handout. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to think and act for myself, enjoy the benefits of my creations, and to face the world boldly and say, this with God's help, I have done. All this is what it means to be an American. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Now, we have a very proud moment, the induction of our new member, past President Michael Cohen.
Okay. I thought today, since we had a single member to induct, we might try this a little bit differently from usual. And I would ask Keith Hudson to come up with his sponsor, Jimmy, Derek, when he gets through his conversation. Jimmy, you got a second to join us? Thank you. You're getting to be a regular up here. You probably recognize Keith Hudson from the TV commercials. And I thought, since he's so used to having a camera and a microphone in his face, we might just handle this interview style today. The purpose, of course, is for you to welcome our new member and begin to know him, but also a chance to find out a little bit about his background and let him get comfortable with you as well. So, today, Keith Hudson, as you've heard, is Jim's son. Jim visits often. I guess my first question is, as you join Rotary, could you see yourself 40 years from now having perfect attendance?
Yes, and I'm glad you said son. That's because most people, they do think we're brothers. So I'm glad that, let's just say, that is my father. We're not brothers, even though people say, I love the TV spot, seeing you brothers together. So, but I will try to get perfect attendance. But he's done a tremendous job in that for 40 years of leadership and being a Rotarian and having perfect attendance. He's raised the bar high.
Now you live on the lake, over on the Irmo side. Can you tell us your address and a little bit about your home and how that generated some hobbies? For example, the boat has added a lot to his family. He can tell you what he does with the boat.
Yeah, I do live on the lake. Love the lake. It's a beautiful place to be and have a beautiful view. I was telling someone earlier, my address is actually Columbia, and I look over and see over the dam, I see downtown Columbia. So it's actually nice, and it's amazing every day to see the sunrise. And speaking of Jimmy and talking about praying for our country, I pray for our city every day. So I do my quiet time in the morning, and I oversee, again, the dam and seeing downtown Columbia. And I pray for Columbia, I pray for all our political leaders and everything that's going on in this town. But I love the lake. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful playground. My daughters, I have two daughters. Carly, she's at University of Chicago right now in grad school, studying clinical social work, and our youngest daughter is a junior at Alabama studying nursing. But they love the lake, we love the lake, my wife and I. So in my downtime, when Dad is not cracking the whip and I'm not at work, I enjoy that background, and it's just beautiful. And we get out, we ski, I wakeboard, I wake surf. I've taught my girls how to wakeboard, wake surf. I used to ski slalom course, jump the ramp barefoot, so did a lot of water sports, so I enjoy the lake. It's a great place.
The wake surfing is one where you can fall and not kill yourself. Is that, okay.
As you get older, that's the better one to do, yeah.
So as you might have guessed, church, religion is a good part of his background. Tell us a little bit about your church involvement across the dam, where you go, what you're doing over there.
Sure, yeah. I'm a member at Mount Horeb United Methodist Church in Lexington. Been a member there, my wife and I, for 14 years. I currently serve as our lay leader there. So for those that aren't familiar in the Methodist Church, I'm kind of the liaison between the congregation and my pastor. So I make sure that we adhere to the mission and the vision of the church. So I serve on our trustees committee, our staff parish relations committee, administrative board, and our finance committee. So spent a lot of time there. I've served as our past finance chair in our Above and Beyond campaign, where we raised $17 million most recently for our new facility that we have, but love my church.
Awesome. That's Mount Horeb Methodist.
Yeah.
I know our church on the same side of the river has done some cooperative things with their church, and they've always been just superb to work with. We appreciate that partnership. So welcome to Rotary. You are joining 1.2 million other Rotarians today. And by the way, have you got the pin yet? You got a pin to put on? Not today? Well, we'll make sure you get one. In fact, we may find an extra one so that you can put one on a couple of your suits. But so you're joining 1.2 million Rotarians today. And I want to give you a visual. If you could imagine 1.2 million cars parked tight right next to each other with a Rotarian sitting in each one. I know that gets you excited having that many Rotarians wanting a car.
I thought they were all broken down.
Needing a car. All right, so 1.2 million cars would stretch from here to Evanston, Illinois, and back again. A big loop. Evanston being where our headquarters is located. That's how many Rotarians are your friends now. It's a wonderful organization, and you may have guessed by your learning from your dad, but also what Jimmy's been able to tell you from your visits here. I presume you've had a past president's chat yet, and if not, you will shortly. And soon a fireside chat, and we hope to have you involved with that as well. You've learned a lot about Rotary and sort of jumped through some hoops. We feel good about your being here. You are one of Columbia's leaders, and are delighted to have you amongst these other leaders in Columbia. Please help welcome Keith Hudson to Columbia Rotary.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome Keith Hudson, and welcome Jim. We always like to see you too. Okay, service projects. We've had a book collection going on all month in honor of Martin Luther King, and today would be the last day. However, I'm sure Cynthia would accept books next week. Yes, so if you forgot to bring them, it's not too late. Bring them next week to the meeting. And she's even taking, I'm scared to say it, but cookbooks, which because I don't cook that much anymore, I brought her all my cookbooks. So she's thrilled and taking them to different places for adults and then children's books. So do not forget next week. And thank you, Cynthia. Mason, Discover Rotary next week. Do you want to say anything?
Sure, we're going to have one at 11:30 here next week. If you all have a prospective member of the club, they want to learn more about Rotary, we'll do it right here. It starts at 11:30, and that'll be followed by our speaker next week, which is going to be Dr. Doug Woodward from the University of South Carolina. I don't know if I've stolen my own thunder at the end of the meeting, but that's who our speaker is next week. And he's talking about the economy of South Carolina.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the Rotary Club at USC is hosting a mentoring program, trying to line up mentors with their students, helping them with careers or choices or direction. If any of you are interested in being a mentor, please let me know. They are having a program in about a week or so to introduce the mentors to the mentees. So please let me know if you're interested, and I'll pass that along. Thank you. Member highlight. Today, we have a very special member highlight. It's our own Rita Patel.
Hey everybody, thank you for inviting me to do the member spotlight this afternoon. Like Louisa was saying, my name is Rita, my husband is Marcus, he's sitting with me today. We own Hotel Trundle. We're a 41-room boutique hotel. It's independently owned in the heart of the Main Street district. And a lot of people ask us what made us want to open a hotel in Columbia. So my answer to that is, one, that's a great question. It seems pretty random. But it was just a unicorn opportunity that we couldn't ignore, which is why the unicorn was adopted as our logo icon. Another question that we get asked a lot is, what does boutique mean? And to Marcus and I, it means it's a space unique to Columbia with unexpected and creative details around every corner. And the last question I wanted to answer, if any of you are wondering, is how did I find myself a Rotary? My mom, Hema Patel, she was a Rotarian in Orangeburg, California. And so when we started developing Coach Ultraman in Columbia, I had the privilege of working with Matt Kennel. I don't know if he's here today. Okay, Matt. And so he's been a wonderful resource for me, and I invited myself to a Rotary meeting, and he generously accepted my ask. And from there, I was really interested in the topic that I was hearing about that day, and decided to seek admittance, I guess, of the club. So, and the rest is history. I've since then brought my interns here, and I think one of my favorite meetings was the one where we saw some of the citizens be naturalized. It was very moved there, which was pretty impactful. And that was one of my favorites. So, anyway, I think Andrew's going to follow me and talk about the social that we're hosting for Rotary Club, and I'm excited to have you if you haven't seen the hotel yet. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita, and thank you, Marcus. We're really looking forward to this event, which is going to be on Monday, February 10th, from 6 to 8 p.m. So a couple of things you need to know about the event. It is open to all folks, so we want you to invite your family, invite your friends. If you have someone on that list of potential members that you gave to Glenn Matthews a couple of weeks ago that Mason asked for, that's a perfect opportunity to bring those folks. We're also asking for you to pay for that cost in advance. It's $25. Last time we mentioned that you could put it on your bill, and we can do that, but it's actually much more easier for us and for the club if you can write a check, or you can use the credit card form that's on your table to put that information down there. When arriving, you're going to want to check in, because at check-in, you're going to get your glass. And this is the glass you're obviously going to use, and you're going to want. There's also a cash bar for beer and soda, and Palmetto Wines is offered to reserve wine for pickup at his shop after the event, of which a portion of that will come back to the club as income. So we want to thank, again, Rita and Marcus. They are our host and a sponsor. We also have one anonymous sponsor, but we need more sponsors. So I'm asking for anyone who would consider a $500 gift for this event to help defray some of the costs. That would be wonderful. And of course, all extra money is going to go to the club and to the club projects. We have around 55 folks signed up already, so there is a form on your table again. And so, about that form. So last week, do me a favor. If you can't recall whether or not you've signed up already, go ahead and put your name down again. Most importantly, by your name, give me the number of people that are going to be in your party. If it's just yourself, it's 1. If it's you and a spouse, or a +1, that's 2. If you're bringing your office, that's +50. You kind of get the sense. So, and this is important. We do need that for a head count, so do put the number by your name. And if anyone has questions, you can call or text me, or catch me at the door on the way out of the meeting. Sir?
Is there a limit, I remember saying?
There is a limit of 80 currently. We may be able to twist that number a little bit, but and we're hoping for as many folks as we can squeeze in there. Any other questions? All right, Louisa. Thank you.
Okay. I also wanted to say that, and I forgot to, but I was talking about the Rotary Club. Last week, Kishore, where are you, Kishore? He came and spoke to them and talked about his prior service in Pennsylvania, and he was fantastic. In fact, I'm going to get you to do that very same talk pretty soon for our club. It was amazing about service above self and what led him to Rotary. So thank you, Keisha. They were impressed too. The district is hosting, if you don't already know, the All Club Conference, which is March 27th, 8th, and 9th, right here in Columbia. It's at the Convention Center, and if anyone's staying overnight, the Hilton has given them a special registration price. But the deadline for early bird registration is January 31st. So if you're interested in attending all 3 days or any one day, please go ahead and go to DAC-DB and register. And I want to put a shout out too for the lunch on Friday, the 27th. It's kind of embarrassing when it's in Columbia and our club doesn't show up as well. And so I've been told to put in a special plug for you all and encourage you to attend that conference. Okay. Now, Bocce Bash will meet right after this meeting, and I hate that it conflicts with our board meeting that's also at the same time, but both of them are occurring after the meeting. And I'm hoping next week we can give you an update on the Bocce Bash. All right, introducing today's speaker. It really needs no introduction, but Kay Shaw.
Dr. Craig Witherspoon, but like me, I bet if you listen, you're going to hear some facts that you did not know. I thought I knew Craig Witherspoon, and I thought I knew Richland School District 1, but I learned a lot by this formal introduction, so see what facts you're going to learn. An educational practitioner for over 30 years, Dr. Craig Witherspoon's professional experience include being an instrumental music teacher. That was one of my first ahas. He's been a middle and high school principal, an instructional improvement officer, and a superintendent for 13 years, working in urban, rural, and suburban settings in Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, and gratefully here in South Carolina. Dr. Witherspoon began his duties as superintendent of Richland School District 1 in March of 2015. And here's some of the facts about Richland 1 that I bet many of you did not know. It's the 9th largest school district in the state with 52 schools and centers, 24,000 students in pre-K through 12th grade, and more than 4,500 employees. The district stretches over 480 square miles and encompasses urban, suburban, and rural communities. Year after year, district schools, students, and staff receive prestigious honors and awards at the local, state, and national levels. Listen to this figure. The class of 2019 earned more than $86.5 million in scholarships and other financial aids, and that was a district record, so congratulations on that. Dr. Witherspoon's leadership, under Dr. Witherspoon's leadership, Richland 1 has expanded the number of unique learning opportunities offered to students and that appeal to individual interests and help prepare them for college and careers. The district's magnet and choice programs include Montessori programs at the elementary and middle school levels, an elementary language immersion program, Mandarin, Chinese, and Spanish, and a virtual program for high school students. And this is one that our business partners absolutely thank you for and love you for. In partnership with the South Carolina Trucking Association, Richland 1 launched a commercial driver's license, the CDL program, at Eau Claire High School in August of 2018. The program is the first high school CDL program in the state and only the third in the nation. He has received numerous awards, including Administrator of the Year on 2 different years from 2 different organizations. So I hope that you learned something special, and it is a unique honor to have one of our own speak to us. Please welcome Dr. Craig Witherspoon.
Thank you, Kay. She just gave the whole presentation. So we can go straight to Q&A. Honored to be here, certainly on the stage and presenting. I was Southern folk, normally my seat is there in the back, but still informed and engaged as well. So pleasure to be here and share a little bit of information about Richland One. I would like to say to Jim Hudson, we appreciate your work. They partner with our schools, and it's a student-led effort in terms of the Super Bowl of Caring. So you all have been doing that for a number of years. We certainly do appreciate that, and that helps our greater community as well. And to Rotary, doing the scholarships that you do to help students in Richland One in our community, as well as a couple of months ago, we had the meal packing event that helped our families in Richland One. So I thank the Rotary, President Louisa, for, and then she reached out and said, hey, could our parents and our families use that? I said, absolutely. So I do appreciate what the Rotary does, certainly for our community at large, but our families in Richland One. Let me get the clicker here for a second. So our mission statement, we have a lot of business folks and so forth in here, you have to have a mission statement. So what is it you do and what drives what you do? And our mission statement is a very good statement. A leader in transforming lives through education, empowering all students, and that all is a operative word that I'll talk about, students to achieve their potential and dreams. So our mission statement states, what is it we want, what is it we see for students, and how do we move them forward? A little bit about the facts, and Kay mentioned those, and I won't repeat all of those. But in that context, being the 9th largest in the district, we're not the largest, we're not the smallest of 52, 53 districts, but we are the largest, most diverse, if that makes sense. Our poverty index in Richland One is about 75, 76%. So there are larger districts in the state, there are smaller districts in the state, but there's not a district the size that we are that has a poverty index of 76%. So that makes our opportunity, if you will, of making sure that all of our students are able to realize their potential and dreams just a little bit difficult. Then if you look at suburban, urban, and rural, and we know this, people have different expectations. And we get that. But again, we take that as an opportunity, as a challenge of how do we move and how do we prepare our students. Now, when Ms. York put this slide together for me, she had this slide here a little later in the slide deck, and I moved it up. Because this is something we're very, very proud of. This past year, we reached a district high of 82.2% graduation rate. And I want you to clap on that. And you will not see, again, a district, you will see some, but we're proud of this, again, given our demographics and having a graduation rate which is slightly above the state average, but given a graduation this high with some of the challenges that we have, that's not true across the country. Now you do have some, but you don't see those numbers beside each other. So that's significant. And that's our hats off certainly to our students, hats off to our teachers, our counselors, and all of the things that we do to move that. And we're not satisfied there. We're pushing to see if we can't tweak out a couple more points on this for this year. And we continue to monitor that as well. We mentioned the $86.5 million in scholarships. Again, all of these things are tied together and all of them don't just happen. And when I first got here, I met Kay. She was working with MEBA, with the Midlands Education and Business Alliance, and has been around for a long time. And this too, if we're talking about graduation rate and these opportunities our students have, is because of a lot of partnerships that happen. MEBA being one, working on getting our students exposure to businesses and industry in our community and how those students can take advantage of that. We've got a lot of other partnerships and things that, as I've mentioned, but that gives our students, and some of them who may not see some of those opportunities and connections, It's our job to make sure those things exist. So appreciate her work. You're also on the State Chamber of Commerce, Department of Commerce, and she still connects and makes sure that we have some opportunities in Richland 1, as well as other districts. They work with a lot of districts, but certainly Richland 1 is near and dear to my heart. Points of pride for the district, and there are many. Individual, student, and team athletic accomplishments. We had 14 state championships during the 18-19 school year. 14 of our seniors have been named 2020 National Merit Scholars semifinalists. 17 of our schools, and that may be the highest number in the state or close to it, were named National Healthy School Award winners. Our student nutrition department does a lot of work and taste testing with students and all of that so that they're eating salads. We have salad bars in all of our schools. We give them voice and choice, if you will, on some of those things that they have, and we're trying to be a lot more healthy with our students when they eat. And 11 of our schools were named Palmetto Gold or Silver Award winners, and that's for either their absolute performance on some of the state assessments, or also schools that have improved their performance. So we had 11 of those schools as well. Very proud of our CTE, or our Career and Technical Education program. In the 18-19 school year, we had 380 CTE completers. And what I mean by completers is there are 16 national career pathways. Everything from culinary arts, IT, there's 16 pathways. And in Richland 1, we offer 15 of those 16 certified pathways. And we're working on that 16th pathway. We've got to get some approval and clearance from the state with some of our course offerings with number 16, and we're working on that. But not too many districts can boast that they offer 15 out of 16, and again, giving our students some opportunities. But 360 of our students earn certifications, which means they've completed at least 3 or 4 courses in a certain pathway. That leads to them being certified. We've had students to start their own businesses. We have a diesel program in the state, for example, in the district, for example, again, one of few in the country and few in the state. But we had a student graduate a couple years ago through our diesel program over at Haywood, and he was recruited and got a $60,000 job right out of high school going to Cummings in Charlotte. So we provide a lot of these opportunities. One more quick story I'll give you. We had a young lady that graduated with her certification in cosmetology, which meant she also passed those state tests to do that and all of that. She went out, she opened her own beauty shop, if you will, hired people to work for her, and then enrolled in USC in a business program while other people ran her beauty shop. And this is somebody that graduated from high school. And again, we take pride in that because of the opportunities that we have. Kay also mentioned the magnet programs. We've had Montessori for a while. We've had our medical magnet, our health science magnet for a while, and our middle college. But we've added, 3 years ago, we received a $15 million Magnet School Assistance Program grant to start some additional magnet programs in the district. Part of it is our language immersion. Of course, we started that before we got the grant, but it offered us an opportunity to expand. We have Mandarin and Spanish. We're looking at French in the fall, and that continues to grow and expand. We also have some entrepreneurial programs. We've got a veterinary program over at Keenan High School. We have a lot of different things that we offer our students. And again, language immersion that we started, not a whole lot of those in the state, and those numbers continue to grow. We got a couple of commercials out. I don't know if you saw that, where some of our students are saying hello and goodbye in Mandarin, ni hao, and continuing to move those things there. Firefighters program. And again, we pride ourselves in where we see needs. We started a firefighters program at Lower Richland High School about a year, maybe 2 years ago. And that came about because we were talking with Chief Jenkins and looking at, and this was a combined effort, but looking at where there are needs in our community. So there was a need in the Lower Richland area for more firefighters. And we've got talented people in the shop. And they put their heads together and came up with a plan, and we started this. This fire truck was actually donated by Columbia Fire Department. We had our first graduating class, if you will, of folks coming out of the Firefighters Academy last year. But the goal is for students in that community, or anywhere else for that matter, to enter that program, finish up, and the reciprocal agreement with the fire department is if students complete this program, they can get hired by the fire department, and their continued education will be paid for. So again, they have job opportunities, career opportunities, right out of high school. Talked about our commercial driver's license program. Same thing. We're constantly asking ourselves, what is it we need to offer? What can we offer to our students? And again, first in the state of South Carolina, only third in the country. We do have a couple of the students that are going through this program have gotten some licenses, so that you don't get worried. They can't drive the big semis right now. But the medium-sized and small trucks, they can get the CDL for certain classes of vehicles. And we do have a number of students who have that already going through this program. This is a partnership with a lot of different entities, but Southeastern Trucking partnered with us, and those students are getting those opportunities. We have a state-of-the-art simulator, driving simulator that's there, so the students can get that actual practice on the road without being on the road. But now that, again, part of that certification is having those things. We've got some drone programs that are coming online next year. We've got some aviation partnerships that our students are doing at the airport. So we always keep a lot of things in the hopper in terms of, again, what are those options and opportunities that our students need. And just like their athletic signing days that happen, kids come in and sit down, put the hat on, say I'm signing, they go play here and there. We actually have an internship signing day over at our Career Center, and some of our schools do it, where we have some businesses and industry, and if you're interested, please let our folks know, have agreed to let students intern and work with various companies, and they sign on the dotted line, and some of these are paid, some of them aren't, but students like money too. But they're actual internships, and we do it up. They sit down at the table, and sometimes we may don a jacket or what have you, but they'll say, yes, I'm going to work at such and such company, or I'll internship over the summer, or what have you, and that leads to other opportunities as well. Let's see, no, not finally. But we've also done some athletic upgrades over the last maybe 3-4 years, and this started back in, I think, 17. Board made a decision, let's upgrade our athletic fields and stadiums. So we're finishing the last project. It may very well be close to finishing now, but Dreer is the last field that we're renovating. So if you hadn't had an opportunity to go out to either Memorial or Bolden, there's a new stadium at Keenan, and then the fields at the other schools as well. And just a little bit more about the numbers. For 31 years, we've received Good Accounting Practices Awards, International Awards for Excellence in Financial Accounting. We are good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. And another thing we're going to add in this, I'm proud of with our staff, our employees. Richland One is a very giving organization, and over the years, we give annually anywhere from $150,000 to about $200,000 in support of, be it that United Way, breast cancer awareness, March of Dimes, and so forth. So our staff is a very giving staff, knowing that if things are better in communities and at home, that'll should translate into students doing better at school. Because if they're worried about things at home, I'm a big Maslow fan, if they're worried about some of those baseline things, that's not going to translate into all this critical thinking at higher level. We're worried about some basic needs. So our staff recognizes that, and we try to put things in place to make that happen. Richland 1 has the South Carolina Middle Level Principal of the Year, Dr. Robin Coltrane, who is the principal of W.A. Perry Middle School. We're proud of her. We had 2 semi-finalists, if you will, Dr. Coltrane and Dr. Linda Norton over at Watkins Nance Elementary School. But she was selected as the middle level principal of the year for the state of South Carolina. And just a few ways you can stay connected with the district. If you don't have anything else to do, on our website is a whole plethora of information that you can go out and take a look at. We're on Twitter, Facebook, all of those things, Richland 1 TV, on demand. We do have, they did leave on each table some of the things that we have, and I'll tell you, we started this about a year or so ago. In any community, and you all know this, folks that have students, that's a smaller subset of the larger community. But I feel like it's real important that everyone in our community knows what's happening in the school system. Because everybody has some piece of that, whether it's taxes, whether that's just informed about what's going on. So throughout the course of any year, there's some things that we mail out and give out just to our parents. But about 2, maybe 3 times a year, there's information that I think everybody in our community ought to know about the school district. Because when I run into folks, oh, hey, I didn't know that. Or, gee, this was going on, and all of those things. I think that's important for any community to know about and be involved in. And then we're also going to, we're starting a TV series in the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. Day after tomorrow, even better. So on our Richland 1 TV, there'll be spotlights about programs. I'll be giving updates. Staff will be giving updates about certain things that are going on. The state of the district, and we're at the time. The state of the district, I'll be giving the state of the district some of this information, but some more drilling down into some data and some other things. That's going to be February 13th. 6 o'clock at Lower Richland High School. So if you're not doing anything, come out. That'll be recorded also. You can go on the website and take a look and view that. And I am, as we finish up, we talk about our certainly our mission statement and our motto and so forth, educate, engage, and empower. But we also want to talk about our hashtag when we say R1 Strong. And that means, again, all the people that we have, everything that we do to support our students, support our teachers, support our schools, and we just thank you all for your involvement and your support in that regard. And I'll answer any questions, or should I have a couple minutes? Sure. Yeah, questions? Yes?
Thank you for your great presentation. Can you speak? I know you are a musician. You didn't mention anything about the arts.
Oh. Good point. We could spend all day on the arts, and so I know. I know. And I'll tell you, I've been in a number of districts, number of states, but I haven't found a more comprehensive arts education involvement engagement than we have in Richland 1. We start at elementary school with orchestra, band, general music, so forth. Jazz band, we have partnerships certainly with Columbia Dance, certainly with the university, and other entities. Our students, they come in as guest clinicians and guest people. We have our district-wide events such as chorus, and band, orchestra, theater, you name it, we offer it. And our students get some behind-the-scenes experience if they're not that artistically inclined, but maybe they want to do some of the things behind the scenes, they can do that. We do have a theater arts department that helps our schools build sets and again, give kids that exposure that they need. So we have a very good fine arts program in the district.
Those of us that would like to offer our offices for externship opportunities, we email here and attention, anybody?
Dr. Tracy Cooper, Tracy.Cooper at richmond1.org, and we can get some information. She's our partnership, our director of partnership and after school, TRACI.Cooper at richmond1.org. And we'd love to have more, again, more partnerships.
Dr. Witherspoon, is the poverty index and students who are eligible for free and reduced lunches equivalent?
Yes, they changed. It used to be what we call direct serve. So where students had to fill out the form and all that. Well, they don't have to fill out the form anymore. They take some of our district-wide information where parents require services and all of that, so the number comes from that. But it's the equivalent.
So 70% plus of your students are on free and reduced lunch?
They would qualify, that is correct. Yes.
Richland One was very active in telehealth, telemedicine
Absolutely.
project that we had for Richland. And I just want to know what the interest is and what are you doing to try to introduce the kids to more, I guess, telehealth, telemedicine, teleeducation.
Absolutely, and real quickly, we did pilot with then Palmetto, now Prisma Health, with telehealth, especially in our more rural parts where the students could go to school and they could see a health nurse practitioner or a doctor online, and parents too. So we've been doing that. We've actually increased the number of schools, and we're also opening that up to staff as well. So they wouldn't necessarily have to take time off and go. But we are continuing to expand that, and we've had some good feedback from our students, from our parents, and our schools with that as well. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, as a parent, our boys are in the Carver Lion Spanish learning program.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And they really, really enjoy it. Easton is 5 years old, and he has lit up with learning Spanish. And I also appreciate the initiatives that Richland One administers as far as giving like free book bags and Lego kits, things like that. So that's always really nice to hear.
Thank you. Good feedback. One more.
Yes, I am a graduate of Eau Claire High School,
okay.
Good, bad, or indifferent. We were used to winning football championships and basketball championships at Eau Claire. And of course, I know Dutch Fork went out and hired a guy, and they pay him all kind of money. And then all they do is win championships. So my question to you is, every time I say something about that, they tell me that all the coaches, head football coaches, head basketball coaches, all get paid the same thing. I don't understand that.
We hire, and this comes up, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Our philosophy here is we want the basketball and the football coaches to be certified. And then we pay a stipend. And we have increased the stipend over the years to, actually we have, if not one of the highest stipends that we have. But that certainly doesn't compete with boosters and others that hey, let's tack on some more dollars and all of that. Not making a value judgment, just saying what it is.
If I heard you right, you said boosters are responsible.
Well, I'm not sure. Oh, scratch that. Rewind the tape. I don't want to indict anybody. My apologies. I'm not sure. Well, you gotta be careful before you speak. But I hear the concern on that, and it is something we're looking at.
Good.
Okay.
children and grandchildren, there's nothing more important. And thank you all of his guests. We really do appreciate what you do to make us strong. And Richland District 1, we're very proud of you. Thank you. Real quickly till next week.
Just a reminder, bring prospects at 11:30 for the Discover Rotary. Then Doug Woodward is coming to talk about the economy of South Carolina, 12:30.
Thank you. And I think we'll forego, sorry Rusty, national anthem, but pray for our country and pray for this city. Thank you all. Have a great week.